it's been a while since I've been inside Cyrodiil live at the Golden Vendor. Every weekend we have it. It's been a while, but I figured I'd give a quick review. And one of the main reasons why I haven't done a review for so long is because, in all honesty, um, I've been hoping that we have a really good vendor one of these days, but there's just not really much in the vendor nowadays. The only thing I can really say is, if you do have a lot of AP, you have to waste it on something. So that as a PvPer, you look for something to want to buy, or even as a PvEer. So if you have a ton of million of AP, why not waste it if you're not going to waste it on something else? Or you can just save it on the bank. So we'll take a look at it today and see what's going on. Alright, let's look here. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna look at jewelry. The jewelry. Alright. So golden jewelry, 1 week is golden rings, week is golden necklaces. This week is golden necklaces, and the good thing about golden jewelry is it's hard resources. It can be very expensive, even though this patch made it a little cheaper, but still materials are hard to come by. So is it worth buying in the golden vendor? We'll see. Well, let's take a look depending what it is. First thing up is knight errant's necklace. So let's see what we have. First thing is, where does this come from? It comes from, it's actually, you can get it in jewelry and you can also get it in heavy armor. It is from Blackheart Haven Dungeon, basic dungeon. That means you don't need no DLC package. All you need is the basic game, and anyone can farm this in Blackheart Haven Dungeon. Blackheart Haven is not very difficult. It has been watered down over the years, where pretty much with how hard damage is hitting right now in Elder Scroll, it's not a hard thing to farm. If you have the AP and you want to get it golded right away, I guess you can waste it. But if you don't, in no rush, in all honesty, you can just probably farm it. It is not hard. You can even do it on normal. You could probably solo it with your companion. But if you want to get in purple, you can, or you can just buy it here. And it adds 1206 maximum health, 1096 maximum stamina, adds 129 weapon and spell damage, the fifth piece, 450 weapon and spell to one hand and shield abilities. When one hand and shield ability, you heal for 1721. What would I say about it? Well, like I said again, it's niche if you want to put in your build, but a lot of these things are just outdated because there's just so many different things now that you can use. But if the whole beauty of this game is experimental. If you're able to make it work, sure, why not? Is this the best thing out there? No. I mean, I personally, this is just my personal opinion, would probably just farm it, go to the dungeon and just farm it out. It's not worth my time, but if you have the extra P, why not? The next thing, and it's 200k if you want to get it in gold. If you got gold coins, sure, but if you want to spend AP, it will be 375k. Not very expensive, but like I said, I would rather just hold on to my AP. The next one is Baharra's Curse, and that comes from Hughesbane Overland. You do need a DLC. It's an older DLC, Thieves Guild DLC. It does come in medium and heavy armor, but of course we are looking at the necklace, Baharra's Curse. Keep in mind that in the store, in the GameStop store, in the Xbox store, nowadays I don't think most Elder Scrolls come with just a basic. You can buy little package DLCs rather cheap, maybe like 20 bucks. Probably cheaper if you get it hard copy. So let's look. Adds 1206 max health, magicka, and stamina. Reduces damage taken for environment traps. When you do the damage, you have 25. And it goes on and on and on. It heals you 400%. Another niche build. Maybe you can do something with it in PvP, not so much in PvE. You can, absolutely, but there's other sets that will do just much better. Is it worth buying? In my opinion, I will say no. I will say you can probably find it very easy. It's in the overland. You don't even have to go into a dungeon. Thunder's Bugs. Now, this used to be my favorite one many years ago. So let's see where it comes from. Malibu Tour Overland. Okay, and that you don't need a DLC for. If you get it in body, it's going to be in heavy. And let's take a look. Adds 1487 armor, 129 weapon and spell. When you take physical damage, you do 3676 shock damage in 5-meter range. Has a 3-second cooldown. Used to be a lot stronger. Tanks used to use it, even tanky DPSs. Like I said, there's much better sets now, but it is a fun set. But once again, like I said, it comes from Alibotor. I'd rather just farm it. If you got the AP, sure, waste it. I wouldn't waste any gold on it. It's up to you. Then the next one is Treasure Hunter, and that comes from Vahlenfell Dungeon. You don't need a DLC for it, and like I said, even the older DLCs you can get it pretty cheap. Will come in light armor if you decide to go the armor route. Vahlenfell Dungeon is very easy, watered down. Like I said, with damage so hard, these basic dungeons are just like cake. Let's see what they do. 1096 max magicka, critical weapon and spell damage. Gain major salary, prophecy at all times increases your weapon and spell critical rating by 29. So a lot of classes now have in their class skills some type of weapon and spell critical. So this is one route you can go if you don't want to use those skills. They also have passes that give it to you in certain classes as well. Most classes probably have it, or as well as, like I said, skills using fighting guilds. I forget what other one. I know for the Nightblade they have in the fighter guild. They also have it in their assassination skill line. So because you can get it in so many ways, you could even get it through potions. I will say this is pretty niche, but it depends on your build and when you want to balance and fill. So if you don't want to put on your skills or use any passives or use any fighters guild, then, or even mages guild that also has it as well. You can, or even monster helms like slime crawl. Well, then this is definitely an option you can choose as well. But once again, like I said, would I waste my AP? No, I'd rather just farm it because it's an easy farm. Alright, now we're going to monster helms. Now the thing with monster helms is pretty much, as you may know, you get it at the end. You have to do veteran. You have to do it on vet. You can't do it on normal. You got to put the options on vet. And towards the end of the dungeon, you'll get a random head. So the win-win with getting in the golden store is that you can, if you got the gold or AP, you can get whatever weight you want, light, medium, or heavy. But if you choose not to, you can also get it in the dungeon, and it gives you a random, so there's no guarantee what weight you have, but that's another route you can go. And it comes from Elden Hollow 1, again a non-DLC dungeon. Is basic, pretty watered down, pretty easy. So I would say save the gold and the AP and just grind it to the end. You know, you're eventually gonna get it, or maybe, but if you don't want to, you can just easily buy it as well. And what does it do? Adds 124 magical recovery. When you heal ability, you have 33% chance summon a strangler sampling. 1 health over 6 seconds, cooldown over 10 seconds. For me personally, if it was just an instant proc with a cooldown, I say sure, great. But a 33% chance is not terrible, but it's not great either. It's okay at best. I mean, there's other healing type of sets. This set can be used by a tank, by a healer, even by DPS. With DPS, monster helms are pretty niche nowadays, so in all honesty, any helm can be used by any row. Of course, for DPS, if you ever use any of these type of healing sets, you will put it on a medium or light, never on heavy, especially in endgame. Unless you're doing solo, then that's up to you. But like I said, it's okay. If you want to get it, go ahead. And then 5, we have Crons. I don't have to even think about it. This is from straight come out of Fungal Grotto. Adds 1435 offensive penetration. When you do damage, you have a 10% chance to spawn Drew limbs that create shockwaves in front of you, dealing 1282 physical damage. Gives a cooldown of 6 seconds. Alright, so this helm is pretty The only thing I will probably use this for is the one piece. That's about it. The first piece of 1435 offensive penetration, if I need it, you know, maybe put it on light, or if depending on your damage routine. The second piece is not worth it. 10% chance. It's just very outdated. It's not going to do any good for you. I mean, if you're a beginner and you have no monster helm, sure, why not? but it's so easy to farm. I mean, I wouldn't even waste my time wasting AP about it. Yeah, and that's about it for the golden. I mean, in all honesty, guys, like I said again, I'm just hoping, I have more than probably a mil or 2 mil of AP, and I'm hoping that eventually the guild trader does get the vendors does get good where I can get something good. Maybe doesn't have to be a meta, but maybe something like Nern or cameras, or even something like Briarheart. Like I said, doesn't have to be meta, but something cool. Something that many people can use through endgame, through beginner mode, through advanced. Maybe something that will help me for the endless dungeon. So we'll see and stay tuned. Don't forget, if you got any questions, comment below or any comments, as well as don't forget to subscribe as we keep doing content to help people. Without you guys subscribing, our content is limited. But keep subscribing and we keep making more and more. Thank you and enjoy the weekend.